Welcome to Whispers in the Dark with Sam and Teddy.
If you're watching on the video, this is not going to be a permanent location. We're going to have it way more like spooked out later on when we have a permanent spot. This is going to be kind of like
the rough draft
ish. This mainly is, so it's called Whispers in the Dark. This is going to be about creepy things for the most part. Paranormal encounters, unsolved mysteries, looking deeper into mysteries that are solved.
I haven't gotten anything that any time to prepare, so everything he's talking about, I just have to, go off of.
So we're going to have a few different topics that we're going to be discussing each time. We have, like I already said, the paranormal encounters. We've recently started doing like at the actual ghost hunting, conducting real investigations to find out certain information. So we discuss what we find there. We got pictures, we got videos. We got a good amount of detail for a lot of the things we do go to find out and discover. And we got just funny stories to keep the mood kind of light, like about cops. We got quite a few cop stories.
Too many.
It's going to range from a bunch of different things, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. We usually go out with groups. We're going to have probably some of those people at some point talking on here. Lisa, I could see her being interesting. Mikey, I don't know if I want Mikey on this microphone. So, yeah, basically we're going to be talking about things that we do in our life and things that are kind of creepy, unexplainable, and also how we got into all this. It's mainly just creepy stories. So kind of like a nighttime podcast thing. The first actual thing we were going to talk about is what was the first thing that sparked your interest in anything paranormal, or your first encounter.
So for me, that would actually be a pretty easy one. And I didn't realize what it was until I was old enough, had access to the internet and could read about stuff. But when I was younger, probably 5, 6, 7, we lived in the farmhouse at Lowell. And I would have what I know now, it's called sleep paralysis. And I would wake up in the middle of the night. I wouldn't be able to move at all, but it would be like this massive weight was sitting on my chest. I was fully lucid, but could not move my limbs, could not move anything, and I couldn't speak. I remember, just the fear at the time and trying to scream for your mom and nothing comes out. And when I read about what sleep paralysis was, 10, 15 years later, whatever it ended up being, I was like, oh, wow, I had that happen to me. And until I read what it was, I had completely forgotten about that. But when I did read about what it was, everything came back, all those memories. And, I shared a room with my brother at the time, and it just couldn't make enough noise to get to him. And after what seemed like an eternity, it would go away. And I just go wake up my mom in tears, and she never understood what it was either.
Yeah, because that's something that I had at once, but it's something that sounds like it would only be in a movie or a book unless you experience it. It doesn't make sense unless you have experienced it. Nobody would understand what it is. They think it was just oh, it's a bad dream, and it's kind of a dream, but not really.
It's not a dream when when you're lucid completely. You're aware of your surroundings. You have every one of your sensory feelings, but you can't move. It's like you're stuck in a dream world, but you're awake and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, it's a very disturbing thing. And he mentioned right off the bat that it was a house he grew up in, Lowell. We did not mention that. We're from Indiana, not Lowell, Massachusetts, although I would love to live in Massachusetts.
Me too.
But Indiana is famous for
cornfields.
Yeah. In terms of haunted stuff, there's actually quite a bit. We live right next to Gypsy's graveyard.
Elk Grove Cemetery. That's in between Lowell and Crown Point. That's actually one of the places we've investigated quite a bit. And Actually, that's going to be that in an entire episode that we'll be happy to share with you guys.
Plenty of pictures, plenty of videos from everything that we have encountered there.
And plenty of stories.
Plenty, including one of the cop ones.
Yeah.
But we are also near the Catholic school in Cedar Lake. All you have to do is Google that. And
Salesians School for Boys, and then after that, they the fire department brought it, and they used to have their fireman balls there. And something would always go wrong; it'd be canceled. They've been trying to sell that place for the last 33 years of my life on this earth, and they've never been able to sell it.
One of the other things I forgot to mention, which it feels like relevant now that we kind of brought that up, is we're also going to be talking about ghost hunts that we do not in our direct area. We are planning a couple small, like weekend at a time trips to go to some other places. We were have quite a few places in mind that have been pretty big. One of them is the 100 Step Cemetery in Brazil, Indiana. Me and Lisa were talking about that earlier, and that looks. Have you heard of that?
Nope.
Okay, so you can find this online if you Google it, but it's very interesting. So there's this one cemetery. It's in Brazil, Indiana. Obviously, I just said that, but it has the graveyard itself. There's like a staircase. It's just to go up a slight hill, but it's supposed to make it easier. There's exactly 100 steps, and they say if you go at night and you start counting from the first step you step on and all the way up, it's 100 steps exactly, and it'll show you the way that you're supposed to die. And then if you come back down, you're still supposed to count every step. If it's anything less than 100 or just a different number entirely, the death is supposed to happen like within a week.
So there's 200 steps altogether you have to climb?
Yeah, 100 up, 100 down.
I'm already out of breath.
Lisa already said if you go, she's going to be ticked off because she's going to be trying to count, not to lose count, and make sure she has the right number. And Teddy's going to be down there, 11-2, 33, 94, shouting as she's counting up the stairs.
11-2.
Yeah, that's exactly what you would do. So a few haunted hotels. There's. I didn't know how many places or haunted places there were in this state until I started doing more research for it.
Haunted hotels. One of the hotels that I've hunted was Congress Hotel in Chicago. We stayed in the same suite that Al Capone stayed in, and we didn't get too much in there, A lot of that, I think, is just legend and myth, not too much truth, but it was still pretty fun. You have the Stanley Hotel in Colorado, and that's actually the hotel that Stephen King stayed at while he wrote The Shining. I think it's room 217 there is the room that has all the activity in it. But he stayed there one winter, and that's where he got the inspiration to write The Shining from. Lucid dreams. That one I haven't investigated. I've always thought that would be interesting to investigate, though. Hotels have more history than you'd realize. I mean, all the people that come and go, not to mention the things that tend to happen in hotel rooms, What are some others you can think of?
It was kind of off topic, so I was messing with it. But for this being like the first thing, there's going to be a lot of audio malfunctions. We're getting that worked out, though. It'll be a lot better, everything like after this one. We're still figuring it out. But I had you off. You got to say that again.
That's if this one makes it to air.
It definitely will in one form or another. I'll make sure it will in one form or another. But yeah. So we're setting up some good trips. We're gonna get a lot of videos, a lot of pictures. We're gonna get like I said, we already got quite a good amount from Gypsy Cemetery, and that's an interesting place. We might not be able to go back for a little while, but
so we've been up there at least 6-7 times, just us, him even more. And after dusk,
I do really like the place. As creepy as it is, I do really like it.
Can I speak now?
No.
After dusk, it closes, and it's technically trespassing. But we've never had problems with cops until the last time we were there a few nights ago. We had just finished everything.
And we got
Our
it was a
most
busy night. We
it
got like
was
some pretty good stuff.
it was by far the most successful trip yet, and it was actually the conclusion to a mystery, a story that we'd been just unraveling a little more of each time.
For like about six nights put together.
And so we were exiting, getting ready to leave. Well, sure enough, two squad cars pull up, and the boys and the Lisa who we were with go to get down. And I said, "Well, just get back up." I said, "It's going to look more shady if you're trying to hide." Plus,
Oh, by the way, I have to say this now because it's relevant. But there at the Gypsy Cemetery, there's exactly one. There's enough room for one vehicle, and obviously that's where I park because you can't really park anywhere else and walk. It's a little far, and so Lisa jumps behind a grave. Everyone duck, get down. And my first thought is, all they have is my car. Like, what is ducking gonna do? We got to cross the road to get to the car, and we're. And maybe she was gonna go into the woods and leave us to leave, and she would come out at a separate time. I don't know, but she was planning on like completely ditching us for that.
not to mention the fact that there ain't many places for me to hide. So,
Yeah, for those watching the video, you can see why.
so we walk up to the cops, and it's the female and an older guy. The older guy, you can tell, is just a buzzkill. His wife probably left him. He hates his life. But the woman was pretty understanding. She was just like, it is no trespassing after dark, blah blah blah. She basically just had to do what her job, dictated. Didn't even run the licenses, just gave us a warning.
The male cop though, oh, that was loud. The male cop though was a certified Barney Fife, just for the record.
Barney Fife has more credibility than he did. But legally, that was the first time I think that we really could have gotten in trouble. But that's what bail money is for.
Yeah, we weren't doing anything wrong though. I mean, like I do see how there's people there that would obviously be up to no good. There's a lot of stones there that have looked like they have been vandalized in one way or another, but like we even proved to them. The female cop, she was even like, after she read off everything she was supposed to like say, her first thing she said was, "So did you get anything creepy?"
And you still should have showed her the pictures.
Yeah, I do
which
think I
which you guys will see. So we keep talking.
Sorry, I'm trying to get used to how loud this microphone is supposed to be and all the headphones things. But for those that do see like the video, I'll put the pictures on the screen right now for it, and the videos will be a separate time because we'll save that for like the actual cemetery.
And then all these pictures he has aren't from the same trip, but if you look at them, they do tell a story. And you'll hear a lot of that reflected in the recordings that we have. But we keep talking about it. Why don't you go ahead and tell him what Gypsy's graveyard is, the history behind it.
Oh, for the record also, I was going through my pictures yesterday and I had completely forgot that I have a video of Bobby under and the music box going off when we were asking him, and him saying someone there, and talking about the religion. With Lisa right there, so that was interesting. But Gypsy Cemetery is actually it's considered Crown Point, but I feel like it's more of Lowell. It's like right in between the place.
If you want to actually Google it, it's called Elk Grove Cemetery.
Oak Grove.
Elk.
Actually, it's Southwest Cemetery. Southwest Oak. Southwest Grove. Southeast Grove. If you want to look it up, it's Southeast Grove. Anyway. In the mid 1850s, a band of gypsies was coming through Crown Point. Like I said, it's technically more.
Gypsies is a derogatory term. Roma is the technical term you need to use.
Technical term I need to use, but I'm not going to because everybody knows it by gypsies. So Gypsy Cemetery, a band of gypsies was coming through in the 1850s, and they decided to stop and make camp because a lot of their people were sick. The town of Crown Point did not like that, so they went to force them out from where they were staying. And they just quickly buried the ones who had passed and moved on, but they were said to have cursed the land before they left. And then Apparently, so many odd things started happening that they kind of had to like put another cemetery out closer to the road. And even that part, there, all the graves are from like 1800s, early 1900s. We found one 1799.
There's a lot. There's definitely a lot of history. There's a lot of stories in the cemetery. And I'd venture to say that we had more interaction with spirits that linger in the cemetery than we had gypsies. But um, what was interesting is there's always been like a presence of like darkness, and that's a lot of the words you'd hear that were communicated with us indicated the same thing. uh
Another interesting thing about it is the where the original gypsies were actually buried. You can still, if you go past the gate where the newer cemetery is, you can go past and see like the original mounds where the gypsies were buried. And we ventured back there a couple times early in 2025, but we weren't there to like actually be ghost hunting. We were just there to walk around, and it comes to find out stuff was there with us, which we'll explain that later on. But doing the actual ghost hunting, I went back there once with two of the other people we have, and it was like off the charts activity, but we didn't stay back there very long.
so that takes us to the next place we've been, in Rensselaer, the St. Joseph's College campus. We went there with him and his uncle.
Which you'll hear a lot about in the stories, and
Yes.
he'll probably be on here at one point too.
And that was another situation where we didn't even go to like ghost hunt. We didn't have any equipment with us. We were bored and wanted something to do.
If anyone was in the direct area, you would know that Rensselaer is not too far from Ketland, which has a salad place, and we were there for the night.
Yeah. So we had went, and they hadn't opened up the campus yet. It was actually shut down for a few years. And I'd say it was probably 2 months before classes resumed that we were there. And Sam, you want to tell them what you thought you saw?
Everybody, or I say everybody, but Teddy and my uncle Mike, um, they're still like dead set that I just made this up. But we were walking around. It was obviously later at night. Um, but I could have swore at the one moment, everybody, we were walking kind of toward a building, which it was weird because they hadn't like really started restoring the place yet, because it was like about 3 months out from the restoration of it before they were even gonna have the classes being able to like where you could enroll in them. We were walking toward a building, and a lot of the place still had like good amount of power cut to it, and a lot of the rooms had like TVs that were on and stuff, like in the cafeteria. But we were walking towards, I think it was one of the business buildings, and I turned around, and weird lights all over the place, like lit up but very dim. And I could have swore I saw like bigger than a dog. Like it looked like a dog. It looked like a white dog, but it was like so much bigger than a dog, and it was like small. It looked like a pony, about like not quite that big, but it looked like a dog. But it looked like it just walked behind another building, and I tapped Teddy. I was like, "Did you see that?" No, no. I get my uncle. Did he see it? No, no. They thought I was lying, but it didn't look like any dog that I ever seen. And then when I only found out that it like has a reputation for anything like ghost like a couple days ago when I was looking through places that we were gonna go in Indiana, and then I found another book that had that place mentioned, and then I thought, huh, maybe it wasn't a dog, and maybe I didn't just imagine it, but maybe it was
Skinwalker.
actually, yeah, yeah. Skinwalker's a possibility for that one.
And for those of you that don't know what a skinwalker is, go to a different podcast.
I actually had like I think I had like two kind of sightings of one. One I was completely alone. One I had my uncle with, and I actually didn't say a
That
word.
dog, not the dog, but what you saw showed up twice because you lost track of it, and I thought you were going crazy. And then I turned around, I was like, "Oh, I might have saw something," but then it's like, okay, my eyes are just playing tricks on me. But it was an interesting experience there. And again, we haven't been back since, and we had no equipment or anything with us. But
Like we weren't even supposed to be there to be like doing the ghost hunting. We were just there to walk around because we were bored.
Yeah, yeah. And but now classes are back in session, and technically we don't need a reason to be there. We can just say we're students recording. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 56-year-old student.
You're 56.
A little bit older, but anyway. So there was that. There was I was going somewhere else. Oh, yeah, I had like the two kind of like skinwalker sightings, which we'll talk about in another one. But one I was completely alone for, and it was night, so like I could have just saw something that I was trying to work myself up over. But then another one I saw, I was actually with my uncle taking him home late at night, and I thought I saw it again, and I wasn't gonna say a word because I didn't want to have him be running his mouth again to me like, oh, you don't see nothing. And then he made the comment about it, and I was like, oh, so
And then he disappeared for 5 minutes and tried to scare us.
at the school he did that, not when I was dropping him off that one night. Um,
So, as far as equipment, Sam, you want to tell him what we've been using?
so I have I ended up going on like a little shopping spree because once I fixate on something, I can't like I just I don't have I can't think about anything else. So I impulse buy and waste a lot of money. I've spent a good $1,200 just on the ghost stuff so far, and we started this a month ago. So I currently have a little kit that has EMF reader, which we know for a fact works because we've had many confirmations, and not just like that going off at right times, but like that mixing in with other stuff to confirm that stuff's there. We've had that. We have 3 cat balls, which if you don't know what those are, they're they're like cat toys, but you just set them in one spot, and if you touch them, they start flashing lights, which the lights happen to be red and blue, which I might have pulled out when someone passed me the other day at night, going really fast, and they pulled over. But that was just somebody in the back playing with a toy. I don't know what to tell you. We have 3 of the cat balls, so if something's like there and touches it, the lights will flash. We got a UV light, which can help make apparitions of things show, or like fresh handprints that aren't left by us, stuff like that. We also have a voice recorder, which we set up in one spot. I go over later to listen, which that actually got something interesting at Gypsy's that we didn't really think was anything until later when we confirmed that nothing was actually there. We have 2 spirit boxes. I feel like we should stick to using the second one more now. It seems a lot more accurate. It seems easier to read, and it has a built-in thermometer gauge, so we can see when temperatures drop. Which when we were trying it the other night at the cemetery, like I said, we'll talk more about that later. But it dropped it dropped 5 degrees in like 10 seconds, and it stayed there for a while, and then it shot back up. But everyone made a comment about it colder before I told them anything about that. We got a music box, which is the newest edition. In case you don't know what that is, it's basically, those little like a souvenir.
It's a crank music box, and it's like the cat balls. It's motion censored. If something's directly in front of it, it'll go off. It'll wind up play music, and we've actually used that to communicate
for more like
as
yes
well.
or no questions. That's really good for yes or no questions. It's like the little souvenir boxes. I'll play like all these, usually like Amazing Grace and songs.
Only this is a $500 souvenir box.
Yes, which it seems to be worth it because it has worked without fail. It'll tell us if it doesn't go off, it's obvious nothing's in there. Now, the first time we ever tried it, which I actually will put the video up after I describe this, the first time we ever tried it ever, we tried it at that cemetery by the statue where we have all the really weird pictures of. And we set it down there. It was me and my uncle, and nothing was happening, so we walked away. And we had the EMF reader out all night. It was green all night. Like, without fail, green all night. Well, we set the music box down, we go to walk away, and when we get about, 75 feet from it, it starts going off. And we turn around, and we're both like, huh, that's interesting. So we go to walk up to it, and once we get up to it, the EMF reader redlines, and it had not even went to orange all night, but it was redlining. And then we were just like there, like in awe at first. And then I said, I don't even remember if I was talking to it or my uncle, but it kept going on and off. And then it was like a steady on. And I go, step away from the box for a minute. And the box just went dead. And the EMF reader went right back to green. And it stayed at green the rest of the night.
So, in addition to all that, we also use what's called the Estes method. And for those of you who don't know, that
It is
involves
the Estes, not Estes. He calls it Estes because of no body, no crime. It is Estes, not Estes.
you should let them get that little Easter egg. But thanks for spoiling that now.
Yeah,
Now,
good way to cover that
anyways,
up and try to act clever.
drink your coffee and hush it. Anyway, so the Estes method uses sensory deprivation, and you combine that with the use of a spirit box, when that travels between AM and FM frequencies. So it's a lot of static, but he goes in blindfolded and then with the headphones on, and then you always have somebody there to ask questions. And if you're under, you can't hear the other person, but you communicate the words that you hear. And as you'll see in the videos, we've had actual conversations with, and we have names. We've talked to 5 or 6 different people in there, names for all of them, and some people we don't know.
we have gotten some where we won't know like the name of absolutely anything, and then using that method, because it'll use us. Basically, it uses us to talk. And it'll give us names, and we'll find those graves, and that's where it'll be like going insane.
We keep bringing the graveyard up, but there's just so much history there. I mean, people have been buried for 200 years. It's a very, very old cemetery, and I still say, like, when he posts pictures, you'll see this is unlike any cemetery that you'll ever see, because there's no linearity to any of the plots. Like it's plotted like a bingo card. There's nothing symmetrical about where the plots are buried. They're just like all over the place. And in the center, there's just this one massive clearing, and you still have people being buried there, but not very many. There's some from 2005, and I saw one from 2013.
Now, if you can, with how big the cemetery, like with how like popular the cemetery is, you can easily just go to YouTube and just look up Gypsy Cemetery, Indiana.
It's not big though. It's a very small cemetery.
Yeah. Now with how like popular that it is, just you don't even have to use the real name. Just Gypsy Cemetery in Indiana. Look it up on YouTube, and you'll see people walking through there, and it'll give you a good idea of the layout of the place.
I do encourage you to be careful, because there are people that are into satanic rituals and stuff. There's been police reports about people going into the woods, sacrificing animals, things like that. And make sure you watch out for the douchebag hunter that's out there too.
Yes, I like how Lisa got in his face when it was just me and her out there. That was entertaining. But so yeah, it's a very. Oh, I didn't even think about the video, but the video where I was describing the music box and the EMF reader, that's going to play now. It's going off very much so in the distance. Like, we're not even close to it. Something's over there. That's crazy. Mike, something's over there.
What does it say in the instructions?
Come on. Mike, did the statue just move? I thought I saw the head move.
Look, it went up.
It keeps going on and off. We left it here and it was off for a long time. And Mike, the head moved. Mike, it's facing more right. And now it's just going insane. Oh my God!
Look.
And it's redlining?
Yeah.
It hasn't redlined all night.
Look.
And now it's redlining and that's going off. Oh. Hey, step away from the music box real quick. If you're here, can you step in front of it so we can say yes? Like that'll be a yes. Just step in front of it and get out of the way real quick. And that went dead.
This did too.
It went to green. Whoa, dude.
Hey, can you step in front of that box real quick? Nothing. That was the first time I ever tested the music box. Like, I wasn't even aware if it was going to work. Like, I didn't know. So it was like our first encounter, and it works. And that's another way that I said, like, we know the EMF is actually working, because it was like green all night, and they're both going off, and then they both shut off when I say, hey, step away for a minute.
And we've actually done twice where we've had two of the people we do it with, Oliver and Michael. We would have Sam and Oliver both under, and they would be saying.
I have a second box that's more kind of like an Alice box, but not like foldy there. So it kind of like filters through the words more, and it's supposed to be a little more accurate. Okay, you can continue.
So, when you have two people who are both under listening to different boxes who can't hear each other, but then they say the same words at roughly the same time, that takes a skepticality out of it, because I consider myself more of a skeptic. I believe in the paranormal. I believe in all this stuff, but I consider myself to be the skeptic. I try to find the rationality between what happens. But when you have two people who can't hear, who can't see, but they're saying the same words at the same time, again, that takes the skepticalness out of it, and it makes it that much more interesting.
Also, to mention, we were under at that moment at the statue, and the cat ball underneath the statue kept going off.
And for this cat ball to go off, it's the same kind of thing as the music box. Something really has to touch us. I mean, I can even stomp on the ground right in front of it and it doesn't go off. So it takes something to literally physically move that for it to go off. It doesn't go off by chance. Generally same with the music box, because we make sure everybody's standing away from it.
Yeah, because it has to calibrate at first. It calibrates first, so it'll like it'll like read itself, and it'll see like how close the nearest object in front of it is. So it's not like it'll just go off randomly. It'll calibrate that, so if anything comes in between that, so it takes a minute to like actually set itself to make sure it's not getting like a false reading.
And so most of our stuff has come from the Gypsy's graveyard, because we only just got into this a month ago, but we've got a lot more investigations planned that we'll be able to share with you guys. But that's why we keep on talking about gypsies. But there's the circus train crash that happened in Hammond. We're excited to investigate that. We have Resurrection Cemetery, and we live an hour south of Chicago, so it's perfect. We're right in, the region they call it. So as far as Illinois, Michigan goes, I mean, we have access to a lot of places around us. And then actually tonight, him and I are going and investigating with Bob Anderson, and he actually has his own podcast, I found out. And networking, yeah. And so there's about 10 of us tonight going to the Roth House. They call it the Watsika Wonder. It's in Illinois. And it's one of the earliest cases of documented demonic possession in Illinois. And so tonight's going to be the first night where it's not really, we're going into ghost hunt, we're going into, we're protected. Him and I are both Christian, but it's still a different level than what we have been doing. So we'll be excited to do an episode on that. And
you actually mentioning that was part of the next topic that I had for us, which I made the list way too long. We're not going to get anywhere near that in this first episode. But the next topic I was going to bring up is for us to both talk about is there like any fear from us or any of our members that have been doing this, and if there is, why and why not? Like any fear of just encountering any of this.
So as far as
which you mentioned, that's I decided to push it forward now because you had already mentioned.
As far as fear goes, it's kind of like I just said. You have atheists out there who believe in ghosts and believe in demons, and I've never understood that before because that's a biblical thing. They're in the Bible. Demons are fallen angels. But as far as myself and I can speak for Sam too, um, there's a lot of strength in our conviction, and ultimately that's what's going to protect you. And speaking of protection, when we come out with the episode focused on gypsies, when you guys hear the recordings, you'll understand just how protected we are.
Specifically me, for the record, because that's been like very emphasized, and I wasn't even aware of that. Because I don't, when you're under like that and you have all your senses cut off, when you're like discussing what happened, you don't really remember half the stuff you said because you're so focused in the moment. And just hearing apparently something is like really tried to protect me, but it's also wanted me to like venture out more than the others, in a sense.
Yeah. And so that's going to be interesting for us tonight, and I'm excited to see what we get. Normally we don't have this many people, but it's also a big farmhouse, so we have the whole place to ourselves for like 4 hours.
For the record, just to get it clear off the table, you're going to hear us be talking about the same group of people. Is there a vent in here?
I don't know. Back at it.
We're going to have the same group of people mentioned. Their pictures are going to go up for those who do see the video version of the podcast. We have Lisa right here. She's interesting with some of the experiences we've had.
She's a heathen Wiccan.
No, but
Yes.
she's pagan, and she calls herself heathen because it's more of a derogatory term that she likes to kind of poke fun at. Is the best way to describe it. But we got Lisa here. We got Oliver, and I think the only picture I have of him to put up is either.
Please don't use that the one when he first. That's a terrible picture.
No, you idiot! I'm talking about the one where he was either sticking his tongue out where I looked at him and I was like, "Who is that? Is that someone new?" Or the one where he's just you said. You sent me a picture of him with Oliver told me to tell you hi, and he's just being stupid in the back. So those are the only two pictures I have. I got Mikey, which you see at this was another location we actually hunted where he climbed a sign. That's Mikey. He climbed a sign sitting on the edge of a riverbed.
And the nice thing is he has no sense of self-preservation, so the things that we don't want to do, he's the one that does.
Pretty much. And then, so the picture that you're seeing this from was one at a house that has been sitting empty since 2001, and I will tell you the history about that in that episode, but it's been empty since 2001, and we go there twice. I went there alone a little more to figure stuff out, but we all go there twice, and they tear it down out of nowhere. And that still like angers me really bad. And then we got Mike, which his picture is here. He's involved in Mike things.
Hey, Uncle Mike.
Yeah, Uncle Mike. But he doesn't. Yeah, I just call him Mike. He's involved in a lot of. I'm pretty sure for more of a lighthearted side of this, where you're going to hear a lot of just Mike stories because he's interested.
He also has no sense of self-preservation.
No, we went to explore somewhere once, and we heard coyotes coming up pretty quickly, and so we go, hey, maybe we should get back to the car. He goes, yeah, it's kind of terrifying, and he proceeds to walk directly towards them. And that's just one of the things he's done. He's going through the Gypsy Woods where it turned to come to find out there was a person and a thing in there with us.
More than a person and a thing, but you'll hear that in another other episode.
And he found a random buck in the woods. He took that and walked off. But he would be like, do you feel that? He would be like, man, this is terrifying, and then go walk off where they're performing sacrifice and stuff, and he would just be completely alone and not care.
And he would be so far away from Sam and I that the only way we could keep track of him was a slight glisten of this white bucket.
And he kept that bucket and took it home. What he used it for, I don't know, but he still has it.
It's what they used it for in the woods that I'm concerned about is why he picked it up.
Yeah, I don't know why he would really want it, but he wanted it, and leave it to Mike to get what he wants. Hope he gets what he wants.
So I think that covers the paranormal part of the history, and now, as we said before, we're not just here to do paranormal. We're also here just to do unexplained mysteries, true crime, the occasional conspiracy theory.
Basically, we just have enough, just on like from what we've done in the past month, and then just the things that we've talked about just in general, we have enough to run a good few months, a good like couple seasons for the podcast alone. And on top of that, like I said, there's going to be also like you're going to hear a bunch of funny stories about things that have happened too for more of a lighthearted side, such as I'll keep that as a surprise for now. But we got quite a bit. If anyone's curious, please go to YouTube and type Tedward Swift the Cheras Tour, CHERAS.
That boat has come and sailed. I am tired and retired.
It's still over 1,000 views now. So if you're interested, just look that up, and you'll recognize him if you're on the video, and you'll recognize him. You'll just recognize him because he looks how he sounds. If you're not even watching the video side, you'll recognize it. We got stories for a long time. The next kind of like topic that I had, we've kind of like already talked about for the most part, but it was creepy locations that we were talking about going to. One was that Brazil cemetery. I really want to go there. There's a lot of places that aren't too far from us, but we're planning on going to like the heart of one place that's like surrounded and taking a couple days and doing full stuff there while staying in a place that is supposedly haunted. And that's coming up within. We're aiming for a month and a half. Or at least I am, because I'm organizing everything. Aiming for a month and a half.
So that means about 3 months.
Like, that's a big difference. It's still less than a quarter of a year. Anyway, we're gonna have a lot of footage and stuff from that, and then depending how much attention this gains, because I can guarantee already we're gonna have this podcast. I already got it on Spotify to launch, and a YouTube, and depending how well this does, we might get some other videos of us like actually doing stuff set up all on the YouTube instead of just like showing little clips on the podcast. We'll have like videos of us like actually full on exploring these places up there on YouTube as well. Anything you want to add?
So I feel like we should say like so our whole group of people, with the exception of his uncle, we all met each other actually through work, and then we all ended up going our separate ways due to unfortunate circumstances. But
unfortunate circumstances that got 1 day's notice.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Brian.
Yes, thanks a lot.
Oh yeah, and then also this is mainly for like our group when we're listening to it, but like really, you knew for 3 weeks, but you didn't want to give a heads up in case someone worked less. 3 months, and you didn't want to give a heads up because you were afraid people weren't going to give the 100%, like they were going to save it. Yeah.
But me, like any other good boss would, I actually set an example and got my people new jobs. But yeah, that's a sore subject for us all. But we were all realistically, we were all like one big happy family, and those of us that were close, we still find our way to get together and hang out and have some fun. Actually, I'm really excited for you guys to meet Ethan.
I was just about to say, one of the guests that you're going to see is Ethan, and actually, I think we're going out Monday night. And Ethan is actually, we've been trying to convince him to join us for a very long time, and he's actually coming with Monday night or Tuesday night, one of the two.
You're gonna need the subtitles for that one, just a heads up.
I was thinking on the way here of getting him on here, which I could see him doing this. Like he wouldn't. I could see him doing this. He's not gonna make anything easy, FYI. I'll put his picture here. He sounds how he looks, by the way. In case you can't tell, he sounds pretty much like a Muppet talking through a washcloth. And just like that, like how that normal look he has on his face right there. Now just imagine the sound of a Muppet talking through a wet washcloth. That's how he talks.
That was a pretty good description, actually.
Wait, do you say that again?
So that was a pretty good description, actually.
Yeah, that's basically it. Poor Ethan. Ethan like got the worst of the deal of all of us when the whole thing ended. I mean, I was already out, but like Ethan, poor Ethan.
He's making more now than I could have paid him.
Still, the one he tried for twice is the one that fell through for him. Poor
That's
Ethan.
a whole nother story for you guys. Like I said, you're gonna get to know a lot about us. And
yeah, this isn't really just gonna be all the creepy stuff. You're basically just being invited into everything that we do, everything that we do and say, and everything ever.
It's like you're hanging out with us, but we're not charging you to do so yet.
Yeah, which actually from a year ago until like about 6 months ago, you would have had to pay pretty good money to meet the one sitting across the table because if you want to be exact, you would have to pay $96 if you would even want in the same room as him. That's another story.
I also have a book that's available for purchase. And actually, he's working with Topps right now on getting me my own trading cards. Look out for the 101 signature.
I still hate the trading cards, but yes. I hate that so much. I hate it.
That's one of my vices, just so you know, is trading cards and whatnot.
However, I will say the best deal he ever made was when this idiot, who also gave out the keys to everyone in his shop, this idiot gave him a card to sell. And he literally gave him the card to sell, and they were doing an auction, and the guy bid on his own card. Because he's just that stupid. He had no clue it was his.
This man owns a Halloween shop.
Oh, and he thought, no. Okay, so he got that second because I already muted you. Also, he opened one in LOL too. The same box. Anyway, I'm going to have to cut that part out where I said the name exactly. But he owned a fireworks store first. And then he decided that wasn't making enough income for all year round, so he opened a Halloween shop. Still not enough income, so he opened another fireworks store about 15 minutes down the road from where his first one is.
And then wanted us to help him basically turn this into an entertainment business. Worst businessman I've ever met in my entire life. But that's a whole nother story too.
The next place was discussing the findings. Not exactly our whole cemetery, but this is going to be kind of like a little teaser that goes into the other one. The findings of our first genuine hunt that we went on, which was just me and you actually to the cemetery when I just got all the stuff before I had even tested any of it. We went to Gypsie's because we thought that with the reputation it has all around us of being very haunted, we decided to go there first, which is actually where I saw an orb. And I at first I thought it looked like a flashlight. I wasn't even thinking that until it looked like somebody was walking through the woods towards us. And it wasn't until I wondered where they went, because it wasn't that dark outside. The moon was full, and they were pretty close. And when I thought the light had just turned off, but it was just gone. Like as soon as the light came, it was gone. And then the path that it was following, it was obviously an orb. It took me 20 minutes to get that, but it was obviously an orb. But our first actual hunt, no hunt, beware, open and close, no credit. Anything? Okay. I got it. Do you got it? Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Now I do.
Okay. No hunt, beware, open and close, no credit. But our first actual hunt that we did, I had just gotten all my stuff minus the music box. And I don't even remember what we did first, but everything was almost immediately active.
One thing I've been wanting to ask you, we've only talked about me and Michael, Mike, and Lisa. Have you taken Zeman and Michael out there at all? Hemina, humina, homina, homina, what? Just answer the question.
Yeah. Yes. So Hemina and Michael, they are a couple friends that I have, and they have always wanted to do the ghost hunting stuff, but I never actually taken them out until at some point within this last month. I took them once, and we went to Gypsie's, of course, because that's it sounds like we just go to the same place a lot, but really it was one thing was trying to tell us, huh?
We just started doing this too.
Yeah, we just started doing this, and with how many times we go there though, it was as weird as it sounds, it's whatever was talking to us was telling us a story, and we had to keep going back until we figured it out, which there actually was a conclusion that we weren't really expecting, and we found that out the very last time we were there, which was about 3 nights ago. But I took them out there once, and we were by the statue, and we went out, or I went out at first, and I was getting some stuff. It wasn't nearly as active, but then Hemina wanted to try, not Zimina. Hemina wanted to try it, so she went out, and We were getting the answers of pretty much everything. And just for the record, when they have the headset on, the static is so loud you can hear it outside of the headset. And now a couple odd things did happen. I know I had the music box. We had it sitting out. It was going off a little bit before we put her under, but when she was under, it wasn't going off at all. But me and her brother could hear the music box coming through the static on our headphones. But when she took them off, she said she never heard them. But we were like hearing the exact chimes of the music box come through the static. And that was odd, but she was answering our questions really good. And then she, like, we were just about to find some out, and it sounded like whatever it was kind of getting ticked off, and she heard a growl, and she kind of panicked a little bit, and she was wanting to go under again later, but it took her a good minute. She heard the growl, and that's what kind of freaked her out, which I actually heard the same growl. Actually, I think that's the last contact we even had with the thing, was I heard a growl before I came out of going under. Like deeper under. The very last thing I heard was like an actual, like a full-on growl, and that was like what wrapped up our entire everything, as odd as it sounds. What do you have to say for that? Don't play that. We'll show the video later, but
because I sent you the last word. I had sent you the last words that you had said before you came out. Now I just gotta find them.
Yeah, I had heard it, but it was like that's kind of like what wrapped everything up, which we haven't been back since. The last thing that like I had actually heard was the growl, but we didn't get much to try after that, because the moment we planned, like the timing of it worked phenomenally, because I took the headset off and I went like deeper, which that's a story for like when we actually tell the whole Gypsy, like that's going to be a whole episode. But when we actually like talk about that, and we're not even scratched the surface. Say that again.
Said that's been this entire episode so far.
And yet it has not scratched the surface, which is just goes to show how much has happened there. But so that it kind of like wrapped up the whole reason we were there. And right when I took the headset off is when the cops showed up. Like the thing is, if I was like out and the cops showed up and you were trying to like get me back, I would have been like, leave me alone. I can't, like, I would have been like, no, I gotta finish it. Don't bring me out. And then the cops would have walked right up behind us and saw that. But I'm curious now, if we went back, if we would even get anything, because we discovered because we would get like the people who were buried there here and there. We were getting like people here and there, but there was like one main thing that kept like breaking through and interrupting the other things that we're talking to get a point across, which is how the whole thing ended, which you'll find out next.
And so it would be as direct as like we would ask it if it like to speak to direct people, and it always wanted to talk to Sam, and Sam was a really good conduit for whatever it was. And then it was also really verbal with me, in the sense that, so Sam's completely under, he can't hear anything, he can't see anything. And I'll be asking questions, and then you guys will hear from Sam's responses. Whatever it is hearing my questions and telling Sam the answer. It's an actual conversation. And I always make sure I'm quite a little ways off. That way there's no chance he can hear me. But it would engage with me and Sam. It really liked the boys, Michael and Oliver. And then Michael's youngest brother, Bob.
I was gonna say Bobby. He had never done it. He was always like left behind in the past, but he really wanted to go. And because we had an extra seat, because Oliver decided to be an idiot, we decided to.
That's another story.
Oliver being an idiot is a whole nother story, but we had an extra seat, so we let his little brother go, and he had never tried like any of it, but he was begging, let me go under. He got dizzy like 5 minutes into it, and like had to be brought out. Yeah, he had to lay down, which you do it sitting down, by the way. So like you're not like standing up to get dizzy. But it was really talking to him, and it was saying a lot of the same things, which it usually doesn't repeat itself too much, but it was telling him a lot of the same.
And then so as far as Lisa goes, one of the things we would talk to, it really likes to mess with her. And so Lisa's been under a few times, and then I'm curious as to what the only story I think one of the stories I do think we have to finish there still is what it wants Lisa to get. You know, the message it wants Lisa to get, because there's something there that's unfinished with her. I feel like, and I feel like she would agree.
Yeah, because of all the things, like she's like the one who doesn't like have a belief in like one specific God. She believes that there's many of them that do different things, but whatever it was, kept telling her whatever it was, kept telling her that she's wrong. And it wouldn't it sometimes it wouldn't sometimes it wouldn't this is gonna die. Sometimes it wouldn't be so direct in her and it wouldn't be in so many words. Sometimes it wouldn't be so direct in her. It wouldn't be like in so many words, but then other times it would just like straight up laugh in her face. Like when Teddy went out, it was like one of the things he mentioned was a God or a religion or something. She goes, "How many gods?" And it just like straight up laughed in her face, and she looked panicked because she's one who would like kind of mock it. Which there was another story about that, which will be in the finale of the Gypsies one, the chimes. Where it like she would like not mock it to be rude, but just kind of like try to make things spookier, but then like it would do exactly what she was doing and throw it in her face, and that would be enough to like freak her out about it enough.
More or less, like I don't feel like it was mocking her. I feel like it was challenging her, if anything, challenging her way of thinking.
I say mock because I act like I can't really like say anything because I don't want to give too much for the next thing, but we have so much to talk about anyway in the next one. So there was one time, one of the final times that we went there, she brought these little like the Chinese stress, the Benoit balls. Yeah, the Chinese stress balls where you like move them around your hand and they make like a chime. Well, we were all sitting down. Teddy was getting ready to go under, and she shakes one in her pocket, and it sounds like a triangle ting, like the instrument, a triangle ting right behind us. And Mikey was like, I know, I heard that. So Mikey was like, oh, I know I heard that. Like I know there's something there, and me and Lisa, because she told me she had them, so we were kind of like laughing at it, and Teddy didn't know any of this because he was already out, so he didn't even know she was messing with this, and then he takes it off, and you don't usually come out on your own. When people like get the answers they want, they tap you out of it. Like they'll tap you on the shoulder, which sometimes you get taps from non-human, but you get a tap on your shoulder. But Teddy brought himself out of it and goes, I just heard a ting 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 3 times. Through the headset, which there's no way for that to come through the headset because it is not like a microphone that he can hear out of. It is the pure, like the spirit box talking. And that's when Lisa looked at me with the most freaked out eyes I had ever seen. And I mouthed like, you didn't do it just now, did you? And she looked so panicked and was like, I didn't even touch him. And that's why I say kind of like mocked, was because she kept doing it to try to make it scarier. And then all of a sudden it like that one, it did throw it back in her face.
Yeah, so in that sense, definitely it was mocking us because you had heard him too. You know, he knew about these things. Now, I'm a funny person. I like to joke, but when I do this stuff, I'm serious about it. You know, I don't even like.
I would like to say, so am I serious about it? I don't usually like. I didn't know about it until she was there and she was like doing it, and I was like, is that you? Because she said she didn't hear it, and that's when she showed me. And I was just like, oh, whatever, okay.
Well, he likes the shenanigans of it. But when I went under, like I told them, you guys need to move further away. I can still hear you. But all the times that she had made the noise with these Benoit balls, I never heard it. So when I'm under, the very last thing, and it actually spooked me, and it was significant enough to where I felt the need to come out and tell them, like, oh, I heard the triangle that time. And Sam's eyes just widened up, and Lisa's eyes just widened. And are you serious? Are you serious? It's like, yeah, it's 1, 2, 3. It's like an orchestra triangle. And when I found out she had never done that, it's like, okay, you know. That's what I mean by these things actually engage with us. I mean, there's a beginning, a middle, and an
like
end.
Usually the spirit box, the only point of the spirit box is it sweeps through radio stations so fast that it can't pick up words, but the thing has enough power to manipulate the static so that it can get certain words across to us. So it sweeps so fast that you can't pick up actual words on radio stations. You can't get that, but all it'll do is take like it can manipulate the stack to get out whatever word it wants. And there's been times where we'll get a scream, we'll get a cry, we'll get a growl. Never a sound that hasn't been like something you could just like
identify as natural.
Yeah, never been something that's not like made directly from your mouth, like a cry, a weeping, a scream. It's never been like that. But the fact that he heard 3 chimes after and it wasn't like it was like right after she did it. It was like a good like 5 minutes. Like it had already passed. She had like already stopped. She had already stopped caring about that, and it was like it happened, and it was like, oh my gosh, it happened.
And like you heard him say, you're hearing like bits of radio and all that, but what separates the words we get from what you hear like on the radio is they're the same words, and they're said in a way where you guys will hear it's an actual conversation. I mean, so that again takes the skepticalness out of the whole, well, you're listening to the radio kind of thing.
Not only is it just like that, but it's like you get the same voice. And like you can get the same voice and the tone that it's addressed in. You get like the exact same voice and the same tone throughout it. And it's like, if it's constantly sweeping radio stations, there's a good amount of stations on there, and you're not going to get the same voice, but you get the same voice. And then and if there is like something that's different, the voice always matches what it says. You can tell if it's a kid, you can tell if it's a female, you can tell if it's male, and it always matches what it said. We've only ever heard a kid say mother, and it was when we were asking some kind of question about it. Yeah, they would laugh. It's disturbing in more ways than one. Okay, so the next thing, the last topic I had, which I thought we were going to be we were going to have like so much available time, but like we're aiming for these to be about an hour long each. The first one's usually slightly longer, so we're right on target right now. I didn't know we could actually carry it this far, so we're never gonna have an issue with supplies for this. But the one of the last things I had for us to like actually talk about on this one is where are our next places to go, what's going to be coming up, because of course the next few episodes we're going to be talking about things that we've already done. We're going to be showing you pictures from places we have done that. We're going to show you the house in Lowell where the murders have happened, that they tore down, where we talk about the school, we got quite a bit of everything to talk about. But what are some of the next places that we're aiming to look for?
So the next episode that we're gonna film for you guys is gonna be completely centered on Gypsy's graveyard, because that's what we have our most footage for. I said earlier the next place we're going, and that's tonight, is the Roth House in Watseka. And then some of the other places that we intend on going, he told us there's some hotels we'd like to go to. He's got a spread map of every place here in Indiana within a 100-mile radius. So at this point, it's kind of like just, hey, pick a dot and let's go. We want to investigate the tracks up in Hammond where the circus train accident happened. And then actually, if you guys have any suggestions for us too, by all means, let us know. We would like to do some weekend trips. And then it's not entirely just paranormal, so you're going to have episodes that we focus on true crime, unsolved crime, things like that. There's conspiracy theories. We're just excited to take this journey with you guys, and then we have a lot that we're looking forward to share with you.
To be specific, of the spreadsheet I got, I have a total of about 256 locations. And these don't just range, these range from, I have haunted cemeteries. We got monsters like the Beast of Boonville. I have 256-ish locations. We got places where there's filled with ghost sightings. We got like the actual monsters like beasts, the dog face bridge, but I don't know if we're going to be doing that one with the recent reports there. We got Crawling Man. We got the Beast of Boonville. We got White River Monster, Werewolf Hollow. Some of the places sound stupid, but we're going to check them out anyway. We got enough for a good long time. We got cemeteries. 100 Step Cemetery is actually the first one I got on this list. We got quite a bit of haunted cemeteries. Gypsies is right near the top two. So, and that just randomly pulled itself up when I said that. That was odd. We got other myths and legends for Indiana One I've always wanted to check out is the Purdue Bell Tower. I don't know if you heard of that, but that'll be very, very interesting. We got quite a bit. We got demolished places that are still kind of open to the public. One Carl Smith House. That's one of the places that were demolished. Did you hear that ever? That's somewhere I really want to go. We got the unlocated places like Reeder Road. Quite a bit happens there. We're interested in going there. We got Farrell House. We got quite a bit of places. And he can kind of see the spreadsheet now. And not only for Indiana, but I have one for every state. So once we clear Indiana, it'll take us a good, we're never going to run out of material. It's basically something that we're saying. No. We're going to be good for a pretty long time.
So we appreciate you guys sitting in with us through this, and we look forward to you guys joining us on the journey we're taking. Me and Sam are excited to, welcome you into our experiences and share our stories with you. And
so Whispers in the Dark, the episode 1, thanks for sticking with us for an hour. I don't know why anyone will listen to us for an hour, but the goal, no promises yet, but the goal is to have at least one new thing every Friday.
So we will see you all next Friday. Thanks for stopping into Whispers in the Dark with Sam and Teddy.
Thanks for watching and listening, whatever you're doing, and we'll see you or talk to you guys next Friday. Thank you very much.